Koholo, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Rochochadash, let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. Greeting. All right, y'all, so I just popped on YouTube, like not at this moment, but at a moment before. And if you focus your eyes on the top left corner, you'll see those 4 cards in what seems like purple clouds, right? And so those, right now they're stationary, but when I first turned on YouTube, they did like a little animation. I'm like, the fuck is that? So I clicked the shit and look at what the fuck we have. Celebrate World Tarot Day. Like, what the fuck, right? So, yeah, man, I'm like, what the fuck on YouTube? So that goes to show you how they have this shit hidden in plain sight. A year ago, they said that YouTube was the second most used website under Google, like after Google. And it's funny because the ABC Corporation, which owns Google, I think they're called the ABC Corporation, they also own YouTube. And we know that extremely rooted in Satanism, right? So, yeah, man, like, look at this shit right here, hidden in plain sight, right? But most people aren't going to really click the top left corner of the little design, but the water Tiabo Shimashai for allowing me to. We know that this is just straight up wickedness, straight up witchcraft right in front of your eyes. No explanation either. Excuse me, right? But we live in a Job 9 and 24 world. Like, this is so expected. But we know that the devil is coming down with great wrath because they have but short time, to the point where, to us with the eye salve, it's like Esau's to the point where, like, he don't care if you catch a glimpse of his horn in public no more. You know what I'm saying? Before, he was so, like, on some Wizard of Oz shit, right? The final, like, the villain, right? Some old ass Edomite hiding behind like some green screen shit, right? That's what Esau's like in real life. If you were to actually look at the top Edomites ever, they're decrepit, weak, putrescent, disgusting cesspools that can't even be called human because they have no hue, right? In fact, they're 3/5 of a human being. You know, they're not even a man. They're a beast. They're the Flintstones. So let's get the scripts. This is Psalm 52 and 2. This is Malak Dawadad, or King David in the English. Thy tongue deviseth mischiefs, like a sharp razor working deceitfully. All right. The wicked elite aren't gonna just come out on, news stations and tell their plans. All right, they want to be like the Most High. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna speak, but through their actions, right? Actions speak louder than words. This is part of their actions, and this is just one example. We see it all the time. Things we see and things we don't see, about how wicked Esau Edom is, which is the biblical name of the so-called white man. But this is what they devise. They devise mischiefs. Let's get the slave definition of mischief. Naughtiness, impishness, badness, bad behavior. In other words, you're completely contrary to the law. All right? Thy tongue deviseth mischiefs, like a sharp razor. All right, picture a sharp razor in real, the Gillette shit, right? I don't know. No brother should be fucking with that shit, but I'm saying commercial-wise. Like a razor. Or like on some prison shit, right? Like a shank. Or on some nigga woman shit, right? Bitch, I'ma cut you. Right? Like a sharp razor working deceitfully. Right? So you's gonna get cut. if you fuck with Esau or their way of life, because they are the embodiment of carnality and wickedness. All right. So yeah, they're gonna work deceitfully. This is deceit in front of your eyes. No explanation. I'm not gonna get a reading. I'm not clicking this shit. You know what I'm saying? This is some straight up obia. You know what I'm saying? So this is Romans 12:2. AP Apostle Paul, man. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Because how does Esau Edom get a person, man? Through their mind, through deceit. Ultimately, you know it's Yahweh Shemir Shai, because Job 41:11, right? Who shall repayeth me? Saith the Lord Yahweh Shemir Shai. Everything under the heaven is mine. Roughly paraphrasing. All right, so if your mind isn't transformed in Yahweh Shai, you're going to be susceptible to this witchcraft shit. You're going to have a lot of nigga women and Ephraim, or the northern part of Israel, that's going to be into this. They'll probably recognize some of these symbols. And they'll do it in bliss and ignorance because they're under Esau's deception. They'll be like, oh, yo, girl, check, because everyone and their moms is on YouTube, man. Someone's constantly looking up something, no matter what it is. But we know its original and true purpose is to further the ministry. But Esau Edom knows this, right? Because they've become wiser than Daniel. So they're gonna put little bullshit here and there, because when we put out an epistle, we're firing shots at their camp, right? And then when they put out their little left-handed pussy shit, they're trying to fire shots at us. But it's just like them trying to shoot at an angel, right? The bullets is just gonna the bullets won't even fire off the gun. Like the angel could just manipulate it so the gun explodes, or the bullet shoots and then it does a complete turnaround and hits the motherfucker that shot it. All right, so, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, right? Let this mind be in you that is Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. You're supposed to have the mind of Yahweh Shai, and he couldn't be deceived. The motherfucking wicked Pharisees, I should say the wicked sect of the Pharisees, they wanted to use consistent deception, right? That is why Yahushua said, ye are like your father, the devil, right? He was a murderer from the beginning. Because all they would do is come up to him. Yahushua knew their soul, so he knew their intent, and yet they would still try to box him in. But because he was the living embodiment of the law, you can't box in the law. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like trying to, motherfucking a water bottle spills and you put a Kleenex over it. Like, the water's gonna right? It's gonna make that tissue disappear, man. Like, it didn't even matter. That's what it's like, man. Deception can't work. So this shit, right? There's no enchantment against Yaikwab, right? If possible, if it would deceive the very elect. Roughly paraphrasing on those two bad boys. So that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh Bashmir Shai power, right? We know Ecclesiastes 12:13. What is the whole duty of man, right? To fear Yahweh Bashmir Shai and to keep his commandments. All right, and we know basically in a modern sense, keeping the commandments is following Yahweh Shai because he is the embodiment of the law. All right, so this is Matthew chapter 16, verse 24. Yeah, we was talking about him. Let's keep talking about him. This is Yahweh Shai HaMashiach speaking once again. Then said Yahweh Shai unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross, right, his burdens. But what did he also say in another scripture? Take my yoke, for my yoke is not grievous. And when you, basically meaning it's manageable. So how do motherfuckers get sidetracked in this world? Because, Jake, man, they tend to take advantage because we're naturally supplanters. And if that supplanting thing that's in us isn't corrected and used on the right-hand side, it's gonna fuck up shit. because this truth is extremely manageable. You make it, what's the order? 3 videos a week minimum, and go to camp and do sit downs. Like, you have time to do that, even with having a family or other obligations, in the world. Render unto Caesar what Caesar's, right? But render unto Yahweh Shai, what is Yahweh Shai's, which essentially is you. You know what I'm saying? Is your spirit, your soul, man. Fuck all the carnal shit. You know what I'm saying? The Lord doesn't give a fuck about you going to your 9 to 5 and doing your best there, man. He just wants you to serve him. But he also knows that we got to fight for this too. It's not going to be easy. This is the work we got to put in, but many are calling, right? The whole nation of Israel, but few are chosen, the elect. And follow me, right? Back in Matthew 16 and 24. So you have to follow Yahweh Shai. And the kicker is, Yahweh Bashim Shai will will you to follow him, right? Because man's goings are of the Lord. It's not something you could consciously do, right? If it was like that, then you'd have motherfuckers boasting. And the Lord isn't about that, because he resisteth the proud. And why would Ash be proud enough to boast? It says in, I think it's 2 Corinthians 12 and 2, man. If any man glorieth, let him glorieth in Yahweh Shemir Shai. And if you read it in the NIV version, on some Ibar shit, if any man boasts, let him boast in Yahweh Shemir Shai, right? He was a Benjamite. And I'll never forget that shit. That's the hottest shit I ever heard a motherfucker say in a while. So, yeah, man. So, going back to this shit, we're going to see this shit. You see it all the time, right? But now Esau, Edom, we know that he has short times. So he's going to, he's going to show his horns. He's going to have slip-ups on some Janet Jackson at the Super Bowl shit, right? He's going to slip up. And we just gotta be there to expose them, expose those slips. Like when news will hit. Sometimes it hits where like an artist will be performing at an arena and then they slip and fall and shit, and then it's caught on camera, and it's only like a 12-second thing, and then the artist doesn't make a deal out of it, gets back to performing, right? But we have to expose these slip ups, man, because they happen. And they happen very often. Esau, Edom is carnal. He can't fuck with the spirit, man. No one can fuck with the spirit. All right? So, with that, I hope you were edified. Shalom.